cases things can deviate, and it's like a good talking point for now, because if it's gonna go to transfer period, and this is the place where the new system is gonna be fun, at least from not player perspective, absolute opposite, from viewer perspective, because if you literally play bad, your team can bench you and you're out of the league like that. If someone basically plays bad for multiple days like this, for example, if how Sinners, let's say, didn't have the best of duos, if they repeat that thing, then they can literally, let's just say Sinners might have a new lineup.
I mean, you can swap only one player at the mid-season, right?
Not mid-season. It was after the stage. So, well, yeah, we can call it mid-season, yeah, but it's basically after the stage is the transfer period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but so you can only change one player, right? So, well, that's gonna be fun though, because there's gonna be, because if that happens, what I'm thinking that some of the duos are really like packed together, like they come in a package. I feel like Kappa and Twin are kind of inseparable. This is like a duo that well, what can I say? It's kind of like a boomer squad. What I can say. They they're in the scene for like forever. They're friends for forever, and to be honest, I don't see that even if they like bomb out together. I don't feel like anyone will be like switched out by the team. I feel like they kind of make the decisions for that roster. But other teams, I feel like this will be interesting, definitely, to see other variations of some like pairings, because Trackmania seems kind of like a place where everyone is friends and everyone loves each other, and you kind of can't feel. I kind of don't see like the benchings from other esports happening like as a normal thing during the season. But when that happens, it'll be very, very interesting to see how the duos will adapt and what other variations of teams we can see.
I feel like since this is a starting point for such an ecosystem, and since like the competitive circuit has like way bigger depth now, it definitely increases now the scoping pool of players. So let's say as some theoretical example, like let's say someone from the European regionals is absolutely looking giga solids, like really good, and they could literally just get swapped out, even skipping challenger. I mean, it doesn't mean that you have to be in challenger to get picked up. If you're just too good, or just have some, you're basically worth for the duo. Let's just say like that. There might be some interesting pop-ups happening and some swap outs and things like that. And without being like with kind of friends being kind of thing, I feel like since like we just said that the game will be out on Steam soon on consoles, if there's gonna be some players who might be starting to settle in regionals, there might be some who's like randomly getting slowly picked up, and I feel like this might start to maybe become I mean, Trackmania is like so experienced based game. I feel like it's not gonna happen that soon. I mean, for example, like Neil and Exotica, yeah, they're currently the best in their region, but basically majority of their region is who they're playing against are people who have played with the new game, whereas TMCL and TMGL are basically people with at least 5 years of playing time as minimum, and that's like competitive playing time. It's not just, I used to play Trackmania in like TMNF LoL servers in like 10 years. No, it's like they're playing for that year amounts, like competitive environment, either team events like what it was back in the day. Like they're basically in this environment for that X amount of time, and we'll have to see how things develop. But it kind of gives some kind of metric of around what time we could start expecting some players to be in this range to be potentially picked up for TMGL or TMCL even.
Yeah, but I think it will be probably pretty uncommon to see like from regionals to TMGL shuffle. But I definitely see possibilities of shuffles between TMGL and TMCL. like players like Wasal, Miquatro that have qualified for TMGL, but well, we're kind of unlucky with the organization pickups signings. They would be. I see the possibility of them getting into TMGL um, after the first stage. That is a possibility. Definitely when some teams might just well not perform as well as people were uh, well uh, I'm looking for the word expecting to as people were expecting to like as like again I don't want to like write anyone off write anyone out, but like K Corp for now I think when if Sinners do as bad as they are doing right now, there might be some changes there too, but I doubt Sinners lineup will change. What if K Corp, for example, bombs out till the end of the season? It might be there might be changes.
What if not the Sinners, but the whole lore gets bought out or something? Like there's more eyes slowly happening on the game. Let's say if
Well,
Sinners don't go, there's eventually some kind of buyout might be happening, and I think then the whole thing is even getting more spicier then, because I feel like about the pickups, it's not so much. Since there's so many more attributes than just having a good player on a duo, like being good is one of the things that definitely brings value to the org. But if you have a good content reach, like you get that fan base around, that's like additional value that can get as well. Uh, like being good is like the starting point. It's just using the fact that you're good, trying to build a brand around it, and then it makes a bigger thing that can make it more interesting for a pickup. I feel like if there's like a player who's really you have to be giga good to I feel like to be picked up in TMGL without having no content creation on the side. But if you do content and you're good, then it's way high likelihood than having a giga good player. At least having one on a duo, because at the moment for Sinners, there's like none of them don't really. I mean, Kappa streams here and there, but if there's like they would have, I think the perfect duo mashup for like TMG probably would be like a content creator player, competitive player. Let's say something like Scrappy, for example. Like it can brings a lot of value to the org, and then you have like a pretty solid side player basically who's like giga good at the game as well. And then it's like you have like this kind of mashup for the TMGL, and I feel like this is one of the things which gets a bit skewed in a bit of the old structure of TMGL, where the Grand League is the partner team. It's like the orgs own the slot. In theory, they could even pick someone like Virtual Hygienic as well, like as be as a duo, because due to content, and they see that's the valuable way how they can approach the league. It's good content for them, and that could be the duo. So it's like a bit of the biases and interesting ways how the league can shuffle up. I don't know if you know, but in there was the CIS League of Legends league, where basically they also have like a partner, but they actually have a franchise system, not partnered. And what they did, just for publicity, they picked up like a all-female team for publicity. Despite them being at the bottom of the thing, they literally just got fans because they have like an all-girls team, for example. Do you think that could be like a situation that could happen in the future with the transfer windows when there's like an org that doesn't have let's just say Sinners, which isn't like the biggest org in the world, and then let's say some other org buys the slots and then gets two content creators and basically have something like this going on? Do you see that being as a possibility in the future?
I feel like given the current size of Trackmania, I don't think so. Currently, the mentality of the leagues in general is very competitive minded, and so far at least, the teams that have are in there do want to do good as well. It's not like they picked up the duo and it's like I don't know, Andy number 2, Peter number 1, and that's their duo. Like so far, every at least for Trackmania, currently it has been competitive. I feel like that is something to look forward to maybe in the future. But for now, the mentality is very competitive in TMGL, TMCL, and technically even regionals, because the bigger duos are picked up
And
by
scouted as
the
well.
yeah, and scouted as well. So the mentality is still very competitive. They want results at the moment, where and the results currently also bring in the publicity, because currently the publicity is tied to the results, because you want to be first, you get to All Stars and possibly do even World Championships, and there's a wild card even as well.
Yeah, of course.
So the results give you the publicity at the moment. Maybe in the future that can change, but I feel like that is the current mentality at least.
Now, this is one of the reasons why I feel like such system that is used for Trackmania is really good. This having this hybrid of partner league, then you have like this closed league where you can qualify yourself into. Then you have the open circuits regional events, and then it still all leads to World Championships. So you can't have like not that well performing team basically make it to the, let's just say, win World Championship by accident kind of thing. How I accidentally won a Trackmania World Championship kind of thing. So there aren't such things. So at least the ecosystem, like if you look like in the macro scale, at least works like that. So it's like if you do good, you're still gonna, the best team will come out on the end. You just have these multiple pathways how you can climb with that, and multiple options, because the new rotor system is not that linear. It's not just okay, you can play regionals, then you go to TMCL, then you go to TMGL, okay, then you get to World Champions. No, it's like we discussed this before the podcast started, that in this system, in theory, there's like 0 point, like a very giga low chance that there can be a team that can, if they win all regionals, they win matchmaking for every stage, they win all-star events. That's never gonna happen. Ain't no way. But if that does happen, there can be like a team from regionals to jump into the main events of the wild card. And if that's basically, you do the max that you are supposed, basically given in your environment, and then you'll get rewarded accordingly. And this is one of the things in the macro scale that I feel like most people are not aware, especially from the casual side of the scene, because they just see TMG, oh, that's like Div 1, TMC, oh, that's like Div 2, oh, it's like regional, oh, it's like open qualifiers thing. But in reality, it's just like a part of the ecosystem. It's just the open circuit parts, the closed league, and then the partner league. So I feel like that's something when, as the time will go on, people will just get used to that, and I feel like people will be more understanding. Okay, what do regionals mean? What does TMCL mean? What do All-Star mean? And things like that. But yeah, it's very exciting times in that sense.